India and Bangladesh share a unique bond. Born from the struggle for independence, Bangladesh's liberation was deeply intertwined with India's own fight for freedom. We were brothers in arms then. We are neighbours now, bound by history, culture and a shared future. But our relationship is not without its challenges. Despite the warmth and goodwill, there are unresolved issues that cast a shadow. Trade imbalances, border disputes and the sharing of vital resources like water have created friction. These issues have real-world consequences. They affect the lives of millions on both sides of the border. We must acknowledge these differences openly and honestly. Only then can we work towards resolving them. Trade is one area where the asymmetry is stark. Bangladesh's trade deficit with India is substantial. India exports far more to Bangladesh than it imports. This imbalance creates economic strain on Bangladesh. We need to find ways to bridge this gap. Then there's the issue of the border. The porous border has led to tragic incidents of violence. People living along the border live in fear and uncertainty. Smuggling and illegal migration are also major concerns. Both countries need to work together to secure the border. But it needs to be done humanely, respecting the rights and dignity of those who live there. Water is life, and nowhere is this truer than in the Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta. The Teesta River, in particular, is a source of tension. Both Bangladesh and India rely on the river, but a water-sharing agreement remains elusive. This impacts farmers, fishermen and entire communities. India's river-linking project has also raised concerns in Bangladesh. The project aims to divert water from surplus to deficit regions, but Bangladesh fears it could further reduce water flow into its territory. These are complex issues with no easy answers, but dialogue, based on science and mutual respect, is crucial to finding a way forward. Section 4. Security concerns and geopolitical chessboard. Beyond bilateral issues, there are larger security concerns. The rise of extremism and terrorism in the region impacts both nations. Cooperation on intelligence sharing and joint operations is crucial to combat this threat. But we must ensure that this cooperation doesn't come at the expense of civil liberties. Then there's the geopolitical dimension. Bangladesh is navigating a complex international landscape. India, as a regional power, needs to be sensitive to these realities. We must avoid the temptation of seeing Bangladesh through the lens of our own rivalries. Bangladesh is not a pawn in a larger game. It is a sovereign nation with its own aspirations. Section 5. The human cost of a strained relationship. It's easy to get caught up in the rhetoric of diplomacy and geopolitics, but we must never forget the human cost of a strained relationship. It is the people who bear the brunt of mistrust and misunderstanding. Families divided by borders, traders caught in bureaucratic hurdles, communities deprived of basic necessities like water. These are the real stories that should compel us to find common ground. When we allow differences to fester, it creates an environment of suspicion and hostility. This is fertile ground for prejudice and discrimination to take root. We owe it to the people of both nations to rise above narrow self-interest and work towards a future where our shared history is a source of strength, not division. Section 6. Building bridges, the path to cooperation. The good news is that there is a strong foundation to build on. The people-to-people ties between India and Bangladesh are deep and enduring. We share a common heritage, language and culture. This shared history should be our strength, not our weakness. We need to leverage this goodwill to address the hard issues. Trade can be a win-win for both countries. We need to create a more equitable trading relationship. Border management should focus on security without compromising on human rights. Water-sharing agreements based on scientific data and the principles of equity are essential. Most importantly, we need to keep talking. Dialogue, even when it's difficult, is the only way forward. We need to listen to each other's concerns with empathy and understanding. Let us not allow mistrust and suspicion to define our future. Let us choose cooperation and build a relationship that is worthy of our shared history and our common future.